Apollo was the god of music, and he had a certain allure and charisma that was hard to resist. Apollo was known for his good looks and ability to charm anyone with his music and poetry. He had the sort of charm and magnetism that drew many to him, particularly women. Apollo also had a dark side, and this was the source of pain and controversy for those involved with him. The god was notorious for his affairs with mortal women, which often resulted in jealousy, anger, and heartbreak. Similarly, today's artist has been in controversial relationships, leaving a trail of broken hearts and accusations of mistreatment. I bet that by now you probably have an idea of who I'm talking about. But for clarity, I will go ahead and name them. Today, we will be taking on the life of one of Zimbabwe's biggest hip-hop artists, the one and only Mr. Desmond Chideme, better known as Stunna. Desmond, or Stunna as we shall refer to him for the duration of this video, was born in 1980 on May 11th in the city of Gweru. There isn't much info about his early life, but at some point, his family moved to Harare, to the high-density suburb of Glenora. He did his high school at Prince Edward Boys High in Harare. After school, he says he sold video cassettes. I think our younger audience might not know what video cassettes are, but basically, ndwangari ma DVD ngwa kuma 80s and kuma 90s. These are like, ndwangari ma DVD ngwa before, DVDs and CDs became a thing in Zimbabwe. In an interview with New Zimbabwe, he said, open quote, "I did the whole video club thing. I walked around with a bag full of cassettes and videos trying to sell them to office workers. We were the guys that guards would not let into a building," close quote. So literally this was like a physical Netflix. Yeah, my video cassettes actually you could buy. Some of them you could rent. So I entered to a rental and then wards at Ndrakona movie, right? Let's say like Jurassic Park. And then if they have it in that moment, wanokudentesa for a week, you pay Mari a week and then you take it back. So that's what a video club was called. And he also did a little bit of cutting and designing of clothes. And thus he was also a part-time tailor. Stunna is also listed as an auto mechanic, which means he probably went for some auto mechanics course at a vocational college. And is a jack of all trades. And music was something he knew he wanted to be part of, because Desmond started off as a backup dancer. Now, he mostly danced in other artist videos, but I guess my research skills, they failed me. I scoured through the internet to look for him dancing in someone else's music video, but I couldn't find any. But we have seen him dancing in a couple of his videos and on his live shows, and he is quite a good dancer. So I believe he did well in his career as a backup dancer. But the young man, however, knew he wanted something big. He didn't want to be in the background. He wanted to be the star of the show. He wanted the spotlight for himself. And that's how Stunna stepped into the music scene. Now, Stunna belongs to the earliest crop of local musicians who, invented the genre now called urban grooves. This is more like Zimbabwean R&B. But now he says he's a hip-hop artist, which is true. He kind of transitioned from urban grooves to hip-hop, but he still has an urban grooves feel to his music. And, when this genre started, he did so with the contemporaries such as Rocky, XQ, Leonard Mafumo, the late Jamal, Betty Makaya, Maskidi, and Extra Large, to name but a few, and she doesn't remember all of them. And in 2005, he dropped his debut album, Ndoenda, which was a commercial success as its release coincided with the 75% local content initiative, which was crafted by the then Minister of Information and Publicity, Professor Jonathan Moyo. And guys, like 2000, you might not know, but there was a time in Zim when it started off as 50% local on radio stations and TV, and Takato Zomboshka 100% local. Like, you could barely hear any international music. And this also helped catapult his, his profession. I'm not saying, he was definitely good, but that initiative also helped him. And with this success, he even landed a few acting roles, and he actually got a small role on the popular Zimbabwean soapy Studio 263. And 2006 was a good year for the emerging artist, as his release of Team Hombe was very much appreciated by his growing fan base. There was no stopping him, as in 2008, he dropped another banger, Ndaita Mbiri. Godo was released in 2011, and it sent expectations for his new album through the roof. It was just a release. It was a single release prior to his album release. And in just over 2 months after the single's video was posted onto YouTube, it had drawn over 20,000 views. And this was huge back then. Now, I'm at 2000, might not know it, but the internet phone, we got it like pretty late, like 2009, 2010. Before that, we had to go to internet cafes, and it was expensive. Internet cafe. So getting 20,000 views on YouTube in 2 months is a big thing. That's almost like getting like 500 to 600,000, in this current era that we're in. And in 2011, he also was performing at high-ranking international shows in Birmingham and, okay, this one is hard to say, Sydenham. I'm not going to say it again, in the UK. Team Hombe and Godo became anthems amongst hip-hop youths in Zimbabwe. And yes, for like Godo, Kanariri Godo. I remember singing this song when I was in university. I was at MSU, I think. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Now, this man is definitely talented because his talents are also recognized by musical critics, and that's why he has plenty of awards. Now, the exact number of awards is difficult to determine, but he has at least 17 Zimbabwean hip-hop awards. Please note, I said Zimbabwean hip-hop awards. And these include Best Male that he won in 2016, Best Album, Best Collaboration, and Best Video in 2013, amongst others. Additionally, he has at least one NAMA, which is the National Arts Merit Award, which is Zimbabwe's highest honor in the arts and culture industry. So he's doing really well. But like I mentioned before, Stunna's reputation and character is marred by lots of controversy. Now, I will ease into this and start with the less crazy, wild stuff. And when I say less crazy, I mean like too out there. So the timeline might be a little bit, here and there, but I'm just trying to make it we ease into it, easy does it. So in 2015, Stunna had a controversial beef with gospel hip-hop artist Mudiwa Hudula Hood. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying Hudula, but anyway. The two artists are said to have been working with one producer named Craig Bourne, and they ended up producing a song with an almost or rather identical title and beat called Vanegodo Vandikodiwa. And the beef was never resolved, or at least from what I saw, we never got to know, who the real owner of the song was or the beat. Now, let's talk about the more juicy or controversial issues that Stana has been involved in. And a disclaimer before we continue, I will not show videos of inappropriate behavior as I don't want to be given a strike by YouTube. With that out of the way, we can continue. In 2013 or 2014, I'm a little bit hazy on the details, a tape was leaked and it was R-rated, involving him and his then girlfriend, Miss Pokelonare. I'm not going to discuss the contents, but I'm sure you can imagine what was on it because, like I said, it was R-rated. And it's also worth noting that the source of the leak to this day is unknown. The rapper claims his innocence and he says he has nothing to do with the leak, but he suspects that it happened when he lost his phone. His career took a major hit from this as he took a dip in popularity. It's rumored that he lost several endorsement deals due to this leak, but he was lucky enough to maintain his huge endorsement deal with Econet Wireless and G-Tail. The hip-hop star said this affected his social life as he lost friends and acquaintances. And yeah, that video was pop. I think that was the first time we had ever seen such kind of a video being leaked. And this was during internet. Ikaka video actually had low quality, but everyone had the video. Now, the drama with Pokelo didn't end there, as he was publicly humiliated by her at the Big Brother Africa show as she dumped him on live TV. The two were reportedly still together when Pokelo joined the show, but things got awkward when she got involved with fellow Ghanaian housemate Elikim. When asked about a relationship back home during her eviction interview, Pokelo said, open quote, "I'm feeling Elikim big time. Every day it is what it is. I will wait for him," close quote. Our Stana's ego must have been bruised because he went on to release a song titled Wadari Reiko, in which he lamented the manner in which their relationship had ended. And, like I said, Twitter chipinda like zvacho. And now, after all of this had happened, on Sunday, April 3rd in 2016, Zimbabwe's playboy Stana officially became a husband to Olinda Chapel. He was rumored to have paid 16,000 American dollars, not bonds, not rands, not kwacha, not pula, not rubies, not baht, not yen, but American dollars. Keep that in mind. In the same year, he was involved in an accident when he lost control of his Lexus, which he rammed into 4 stationary cars parked along Jason Moore Avenue. There were no fatalities, but 1 person was injured. Stana was taken to court and he served some community service, as this was his 4th accident in a short space of time. And I'm sure you're wondering why I'm talking about this accident. I see controversy. Anyone can have an accident, but it's because the same car was part of a rough public breakup, which was just about to come. Now, at this point, the long-distance marriage between Stana and Olinda was on shaky ground. Stana kaziwa hake kuti this accident yaitoshurudzira zvichauya, he would have been better prepared for what was coming next. On January 6th or 7th, I forget, I'm really sorry, 2017, Olinda went on her Facebook Live and she exposed her husband of cheating on her while she was in the UK. In this video, a distraught Olinda also accused Stana of fat shaming her to the point of her getting risky weight loss surgery. Zimbabwean social media was totally shaken as gossip groups and pages were awash with short clips of the video. People couldn't keep up, man. Like, apana, every page you looked at, like Anna Zim Celebs. I don't know if, I think Zim Celebs was already there, like Anam Vengi. It was just those clips from the live Yangechwana Olinda. And the following day, Olinda posted a long message on Facebook apologizing to her husband and pinning all the blame on a fake close friend of Stana. The hip-hop artist also posted a short video on his Snapchat, seemingly making fun of his wife's angry face. All was back to normal in their marriage. Or was it? The next day, less than 24 hours after the post of forgiving each other, Olinda was back on Facebook. And she went on to do the infamous live video where she cried her eyes out, accusing Stana of being a cheat and a gold digger. Yes, you heard right. A gold digger. Remember, I said he is said to have married Olinda for 16,000 American dollars, not rands, not bonds, pula, kwacha, but nothing. No. US dollars. Now he was being accused of being a gold digger. So apparently she was the one sponsoring the rapper's lavish lifestyle. But Stana defended himself by accusing the socialite. Well, Olinda became a socialite when she married Stana. Because anga ko buda kuma shows, chichichi astana. You know how it is. So I'm going to call her a socialite. And Stana was accusing the socialite of being a liar and being suicidal. I hope I don't get a strike for saying that word. She would threaten to unalive herself. That's what I'm saying. This was the beginning of the end of the $16,000 American dollar marriage. I will still say this, $16,000. After 1 year, 16,000 year down the drain. One thing to note is that at this point, this is the first time people got to know of the name Dion. But Bekutanga, people were lying, they're saying Dion Chasa. And Dion Chasa was actually a ghost. And this ghost was being run by a guy, I think Wellens Mujuru. This was exposed later on. But the Dion that was being talked about was the Dion Tanaka Tafirenyika. And now I want you to put a pin in this. And this is on January 7, 2017. Now, after this public breakup, Stana went on a path of self-redemption by trying to share his own side of the story. He went on the Riveneko live show to set the record straight. The artist, who is known for his bad boy persona, showed viewers his vulnerable side. He broke down in tears whilst accepting his part in his marriage's breakdown. But Stana doubled down on not dating Dion Tafrenyika. He said it was a one-time thing and he had nothing to do with her. During this interview is when Stana coined himself as a kept husband. And personally, I felt like this video was, it kind of helped humanize him, because we saw a side of him that, we kind of saw that he's just as human as us. Agato chema, but, at the same time, it was only that at that point, memes were not yet a thing. We should have made a meme out of him, but people still did create, a few clips of him crying, but still memes were not yet like, I don't know, is it a meme? I've heard people calling it meme, but I think that's not correct. It's a meme. So we should have made a meme of him. But, barely 4 months after his marriage breakdown, his relationship with a young 18-year-old Dion Tanaka Tafirenyika was now official. And by the September The two were now attending events together, and Olinda still ate sour grapes with the rapper, as she would post subliminal posts about the rapper and his new bae. And the two were posting about each other, like in an insulting and degrading way. But, I'm going to commend Dion on this. She never was part of it. Most times was kind of to Akira, you want to be like, oh, I'm going to stay with my man. What I'm going to post out. Dion didn't do that. She was just quiet. But at the same time, Dion was also getting a lot of backlash because Olinda now had like a huge fan base. Because Olinda, I'm going to that live, I have Vitamas followers, and people used to make fun of her, but also people liked her for it. Because my was young, like Olinda can't go to any problem. Motonzwa notification ya pinda. Olinda is live. Now, guys, for the sake of time, I'm already like 20 or 22 minutes into the video. I'm going to make this a 2-part series. I'm going to finish off Stana's, video, and I'm going to drop the next video maybe after 2 weeks. Okay, after a week. So I'm going to end here. And like I always say, guys, before I say it, thank you so much for subscribing. I remember last time I asked for 20 subscriptions, and you guys superseded. 23 of you subscribed. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Noktendai, I got more views than I anticipated. It was so good. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. And I'm going to try and keep posting more and more videos. And for people who are asking me if I'm feeling better now, I'm just going to give you a disclaimer. This is my voice. Ndoja nditori. And andine flu, but ndoja ndito voice nangu. Rakadaro. So thank you so much. And, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is free. If you like this kind of videos, you can consider subscribing. And you can also you can also drop a comment so that I know how you feel about the way I, do my videos. And if you have suggestions on who I can do next, you can just drop it in the comment section. So with that, I'm going to say peace out, bacon out, love yourself and love your neighbor, but love yourself more because, if you don't do it, ain't nobody going to do it for you. But don't forget to hip thrust that subscribe button and share and like this video. Thank you.